the bordbia quality mark, ensuring your food is produced to the highest standards.
Lamb is very popular over Christmas, and the following recipe is a great dish for serving a crowd. It's a spiced leg of lamb, but the leg of lamb is butterflied, which means the bone is removed. This makes it very easy to cook and, just as important, very easy to carve. So the first thing we need to do is to make the marinade. And this is a marinade that you can make ahead and keep it in your fridge. So we're going to use some sesame seeds, which we've toasted. We're going to use some dark soya sauce, and the name of this is called ketchup mayonnaise. It's a lovely kind of sweet Indonesian soya sauce. So that goes in there. Sesame oil, absolutely love it. So you have sesame seeds, which are toasted, and this is the toasted sesame oil. This is our spring onions, which are just chopped. And we're going to blend all this kind of into a paste. Some black peppercorns. That's going to give a lovely little bit of a heat. One thing about lamb, it takes on so many beautiful flavours. So I'm using some root ginger, which we've just peeled and diced. So that goes in there. And then for a little touch of sweetness, a little bit of brown sugar. So a spoonful of that. Just to give it a nice bit of kind of sharpness, this is a dry sherry. So I'm going to just blend this. So this is what I'm looking for. It's kind of like a lovely kind of soft paste. So put it into a Kindler jar, airtight container. That will keep for a week in your fridge. So now my butterfly leg of lamb is here. And this is quality assured, just up the road in Donegal for me. I'm going to pour this in on top and scrape all that out there. So cover it with the bag and then kind of just rub it in like that. And then you cover this. So what I like to do is put it onto a tray and then cover it with cling film and then put it into your fridge. A minimum of 1 day, but if you can leave it for 2 days, it's fantastic. And that's what we've done. I'm going to open this out. Just get your hands in there. Wow, look at that. Beautiful. And I like to cook it skin side up. A little bit of water, keeps it really moist. A little bit of sea salt. And then a little bit of some rapeseed oil. Oven's preheated. It's a good hot oven, fan oven, 230. And that's going to go in for about 40 minutes until it's nice and pink. So the lamb has been in for 40 minutes. This is it perfectly cooked. You don't cover it because you want it to caramelize. Look at the way it's kind of caught and catched around the sides, which is beautiful. So just cover it with tin foil. I'm going to show you 2 lovely kind of dressings, one a salsa and one a salad to serve with it. I'm going to put a little drizzle of oil. So I'm just using some rapeseed oil. So in goes the chili and then my garlic. So this is the 3 cloves of garlic which I've sliced nice and thinly. A little bit of sugar is going to caramelize. So 1 spoonful of caster sugar. I want to get orange into it, so I'm going to use the juice, the segments, and then I'm going to use the zest. So just grate this over here. This is a beautiful product, and it's a vinegar, so it is. So this is a balsamic, but it's infused with blackberries. So just mix this all together, just bring this back to the boil. I'm going to put a pinch of salt into it. We're going to add in the orange. You can cut them smaller, but I'm going to leave it like this. And then lots of lovely mint. And then that's it done. And I may as well just simply get my bowl and just spoon it into it. So that's it there. How good does that look? So I'm going to make a lovely apple and pomegranate salad. We're going to grate the apple, and I'm just using your hand grater for this. So just using the grater, keeping the skin on, just using a Granny Smith apple. So you're grating this in, and then this is going to go into the bowl here. With the red onion, just keep it nice and flat. So cut them really, really thin. That goes into the bowl with the apple. So there's great colour, great texture. Next thing we're going to do is the pomegranates. These are wonderful. So you just open them out and just sprinkle them in. Some red wine vinegar. This is a beautiful ingredient. It's an apple syrup, so it's really, really good. Some oil. So we're making our dressing now for our salad. And then a little pinch of salt, a little pinch of pepper. And then we just mix this all together. Now I just need to get some herbs into this. Flat leaf parsley. So just kind of break that up into this dressing. Give your dressing the final stir and put that in. So the secret is to always dress at the last minute. So we're just going to put this in a dish. even against the white. Like, how colourful is that? It's lovely and Christmassy. So now we're going to slice our lamb. Look at that, nice and pink. So we just place this just like that. Then we're going to put a couple of little slices of the lamb. I think that's a great way if you're entertaining a big crowd, and that's my butterfly leg of lamb with our orange salsa and the apple and pomegranate salad. Christmas wouldn't be Christmas without mince pies. And of course, a good mince pie needs good mince meat. I want to share my Auntie Maureen's wonderful recipe for mincemeat with you, and then show you how to make mince pies with a frangipane topping, which is delicious and lighter than using pastry. First thing we need to do is to prepare our apples. So I'm just going to move this out of here. We're going to just cut the apples just in half. So 2 apples in this recipe. So just cut them, keep them flat. Now you can grate them, but I like kind of to cut them into quarters so we can dice them and then cut them into nice little cubes. We're going to put in the zest of some orange, and we're also going to put in the zest of some lemon. So just using a microplane, sit it on the bowl. It kind of supports and helps your wrist, so it does. So a little bit of lemon zest, and then we're going to put our fruits in. So I'm using some sultanas, some raisins, and some currants. We're going to put some nuts in. These are some almonds, which are blanched, which means the skin is off. So sprinkle that in there. And then we're going to put our lovely brown sugar, which goes in here. So this is the muscovado sugar. So kind of crumble it in there. Some ground cloves, a little bit of nutmeg. So you can use the ground nutmeg or you can use the fresh nutmeg, just grate it, and then some cinnamon. Tiny little bit of salt. There, the mixed peel. And then what I'm going to do is mix it all together with some butter and then, of course, the whiskey. So just melt the butter, just in the pan or in the microwave if you want. So some whiskey. You could use some rum, but you could use both. It is Christmas. So about 300 mils here, or thereabouts. Now what I do, just get a spatula. You just mix everything together. It's as simple as that. The secret is to let this sit for a couple of days. So from this mixture here, this is what we have. See the way it's changed? It's kind of got nice and sticky, and it's absorbed it, so it is, but it's still really moist. So it's not too sweet or too spicy. It's just perfect, so it is. Let's talk about the topping we're going to make. Is the frangipane. So it's very, very easy, and it's a topping that you can make ahead. You have your butter at room temperature. We're going to put in our caster sugar here. Into this, we're going to put a little bit of vanilla extract. Now, I'm going to put a splash of rum into this. It's just a little splash. Love rum in this. And then we're going to put in some flour. So this is just some plain flour. You just cream everything together. So 2 full eggs. And then the ground almonds. So we've used the blanched almonds in the mincemeat, and then in this recipe, we're using the ground almonds. So turn it on a low speed, start up, and just beat it all together. It's as easy as that. So that's that done. I'm gonna fill a piping bag. So when you're filling a piping bag, you open it out, and then with this hand, you use it kind of to scrape the spatula. And then what we do, you're probably asking, why is it blue? Well, the reason why it's blue, if you nick off a little bit or something falls off, you'll see it in food, and that's why. So that'll keep in your fridge, in your piping bag. It's always better to pipe it at room temperature. It comes out much easier. So I'm going to roll out my pastry next. So a little shake of flour, and then a little bit of flour just on your hands too. So using a rolling pin, you just roll it, and then using the rolling pin, you lift it up, and this helps you. And then turn it the other side, so you can see the technique. Okay, I think I'm happy with that. So the whole thing is just to cut these out. So we're using a palette knife. This is the easiest way. Slide it on there. And just really gently, just like this, pop it in, and let it fall down. Press that in there. Push it down. And then just using 2 spoons, you kind of half fill the actual pastry. This is our frangipane, and this is why we have it in a piping bag. So I'm going to start off just here, start off in the middle, completely cover them. I think with the frangipane topping that it makes a much lighter topping than using more pastry. I think there's enough pastry in it in the bottom, And just for a little bit of texture, some flaked almonds. Don't toast them because they're going to get toasted in the oven. Just sprinkle them over. Now, that's them ready to go into the oven. Have your oven preheated at 180, and they're going to take between 18 to 20 minutes until they're beautiful golden brown, and also the frangipane is lovely and risen a little bit. So this is what the mince pies look like when they're cooked. 18 minutes, beautiful golden brown. Look at the base. Perfectly cooked. So they're cooling down. They're still a little bit warm, but you can just have them at room temperature. You can serve them warm. It's up to you. I'm going to glaze them with a little bit of warmed apricot jam. It just kind of lifts them. So just brush them. Now it does create a little bit more sweetness, which is fine. And look at the glaze. That just kind of just lifts them, makes them pop off the plate. A little dust of ice and sugar. And I think that is a beautiful way to end any Christmas lunch, Christmas meal, celebration. I know I say this every year, but it remains true. The key to a successful Christmas is to be organised and get as much preparation as possible done in advance. It's very important that you get as much pleasure from creating delicious food as your family and friends get from eating it. A very happy Christmas to you all.
The bordbia quality mark, ensuring your food is produced to the highest standards of traceability and care for the environment.